Hello, I am back and I'm ready to talk about books again. And I'm so excited and I am so nervous because I've decided to hop on a little trend train and do a read it or unhaul it video. I got the idea from Emmy Reed's channel and I think she's been calling it read it or yeet it, which I love, that's very good, but I'm already borrowing the video idea. So I'm just gonna be calling it read it or unhaul it. What I have here is this beautiful little goblet containing the titles of all the books that I have desperately been needing to read for like years. I used to work in book sales, which means I had access to a lot of free or discounted books, and the con side of that wonderful perk is that I just ended up taking home so many random books because, you know, whatever, they're free. But at this point, I look at my library and I'm like, who are these people and what are they doing in my room, you know? So this video might just be me doing a lot of unhauling, which is what I'm nervous about, because what if I'm about to read a bunch of books I just don't give a shit about? And what if this puts me into a reading slump so bad that I'm just driven deeper into my internet addiction and never want to crack a spine again? But to mitigate this possibility, I am giving myself a rule that I only have to read 25 pages before I decide whether to unhaul it or not. So the escape hatch is there. And like, some of these books have to be good. Why don't we just find out? Okay, here we go. The anxiety is actually kind of ridiculous. Okay. Can you? Okay. Okay, this is Yerba Buena. I see it. Ooh. It's so dusty. What does that say? It's time. This is Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour. This says, at once exquisite and expansive, astonishing in its humanity and heart, Yerba Buena is a propulsive journey through the lives of two women trying to find somewhere or someone to call home. Okay, good enough for me. I'm just gonna get into this now, and I will see you in 25 pages. Hi, hello. It's been a few hours, and before I film this clip, I need to say, so I've talked about this before in previous videos, just how sensitive my body is. Like, it does not take much to knock me off my feet, and case in point, I just drank like just two. Swear to God, it was just like 2 sips of pomegranate juice. And I feel like I could take a nap. It's 7 o'clock. I usually go to bed after midnight and I just want to crash. I just feel so sleepy. And this happened to me with hibiscus a few months ago as well. I can't drink that. Won't be imbibing the palm in the near future either. But anyway, my energy is just all of a sudden wonky. Yeah, it doesn't take much. I feel like I constantly have some pebble or another in my shoe of a body. But I did get through 25 pages of Yerba Buena. I will not be continuing this. First of all, I read a little YA. It could be because we're starting off with the characters in their teens, but I don't think it's just that. I think it's the writing style. It's nice. It's not bad writing, but it's not very interesting. It's a little over simplistic for me personally. Also, the pacing is kind of was overwhelming. A lot of events were described in the first 25 books. A lot of names were thrown out there, and it made it hard for my mind to latch onto. I just couldn't get interested. I knew pretty soon, actually, that I was not going to finish it, but I did want to follow my rule and get to 25 pages. But by the time those 25 pages were up, I was like, okay, yeah, I gave this its fair shake. It's just not for me, and that's fine. And so, happy to get something off my shelf, and happy to move on. So we're just gonna go ahead and pick the next book right now. Here we go. I'm gonna have to unfurl this with one hand. Hold on. Okay, this is My Last Innocent Year. I think I have the arc for this. Let me go grab it really fast. Here it is. My Last Innocent Year by Daisy Alpert Florin. It is in fact an arc. I got so many of these from working in the bookstore. They usually put the synopsis inside these. Okay, it is a campus novel, and it looks like it explores themes of sexual assault, so trigger warning. And it's happening at the same time that the Monica Lewinsky scandal is going on. I love a campus novel. That already is a plus for me. I'll probably start this in the morning, given my state of mind right now. I'll talk to you once I've gotten through 25 pages here. Hello, I just got off the treadmill, so I'm a little sweaty and red, but I wanted to update you about My Last Innocent Year. I actually breezed right through 25 pages, and I'm about 80 pages in, and I'm liking it so far. It's super readable, whatever readable means. Like, I know every book is technically readable, but it's just really, it's a story, and it's the kind of writing that's just carrying me right along. We begin the story, unfortunately, with the main character undergoing a sexual assault from a close friend, and she's just, starting to try to process what that means. A lot of people outside of her are kind of telling her what that means, or what she should feel, or how she should cope with it, or process it, but she herself is just maybe still in that initial, like, what just happened stage. And her last semester of her English degree is starting. And that part is really scratching the back to school itch that I have right now, because I'm not going back to school. I may never go back to school, but I've always loved this time of year for that reason. But this is giving me a little bit of that, especially because we spent a lot of time in the classroom listening to the kind of advice her professor is giving her about writing, which, as someone who's trying to dabble in writing right now, I'm just someone who likes reading books or about writing. That is also scratching an itch. And the professor he says something like, when you take someone into your writing, don't just take them into your living room. Don't just bring them into your kitchen or even your bedroom. Take them to your closet. Take them to the place that people rarely go or want to go, because in writing you can say anything, is his advice. Yeah, it's got me thinking about my own writing practice, and I appreciate that. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I will update you soon. Hello, I have just finished My Last Innocent Year, and so I don't usually rate books anymore, but as soon as I got through the last page, it was kind of just like, yeah, this was 3.5 stars. Just kind of meh. Okay. Cindy Reeds wrote a review on Goodreads saying how My Dark Vanessa did a better job exploring similar themes, and I think that's so right, because this book is trying to make a point about things like girlhood, lost innocence, the Me Too movement, but just in a weaker way. And for me, I think it came down to feeling disconnected from Isabel, you know, our main character, through whom we are supposed to be having these realizations about sex and power and gender and those things. At one point, Isabel says that she's the kind of writer who is interested in what happens inside the characters between the big events of a story. She likes to write about girls with feelings, and unfortunately, I actually think this is where the writing of this book falls flat. You can really tell that it's trying, and there are a lot of lines that are aimed at packing a punch. But when it doesn't, the fact that it's trying to say something is even more glaring. You know what I mean? So it was okay. I think in the end I was just there for the academic elements and the setting and the drama, but even there are so many other books that do that better. I am hoping to find a 4-star level book, at least, in this vlog. So let's move on and see what is next. Let's see how I can do this. Okay, there we go. Try to dig around this time. Come on. Right. Hello. Oh, okay. Okay. This is tomorrow times 3. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, which was really big, what, 1-2 years ago? Yeah, I don't know much about it at all, actually, even though it's been very popular. Let me go grab it. She is beautiful cover. I guess it's about 2 friends who create a video game together. It says it spans 30 years, and that it is an intricately imagined novel that examines the multifarious nature of identity, disability, failure, the redemptive possibilities in play, and above all, our need to connect, to be loved, and to love. Yes, it is a love story, but it is not one you have read before. And it looks really thick, but it's actually only 400 pages, which, if it's good, hopefully I can just fly through. But of course, I will update you in 25 pages. It is raining It is storming. I love it so much. And it's the perfect reading weather. I got through the first 25 pages of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and all right, okay, people, this is how we write a character. Like, just in the first 3 pages, I got a real sense of Sam, who is one of our 2 protagonists, just based on his reactions and his like inner musings as he's walking through a crowded subway station, where he comes across Sadie, our second main character. And it's great how Gabrielle Zevin is able to say just enough to give depth, but also holds back certain things and hints at them in a way that is just like slightly tantalizing. For instance, in the first chapter, Sam mentions how he hates Sadie, but he forgets that he hates Sadie when he looks at her. And it's just like, what is in their past? In the second chapter, we learn how they first met like 10 years before, when they were like preteens in a children's hospital. Sadie is there because her sister is sick, and Sam is there because he shattered his foot in a car accident. But they start hanging out in the game room. Apparently, Sadie is the only person Sam will talk to. Like, for a month, he wouldn't speak to anyone else. And so the nurses ask Sadie if she might keep coming back to keep him company. And she thinks maybe these visits can count as community service hours toward her bat mitzvah, which is apparently a thing. But when he finds out, like a year later, that maybe he had just been her charity case, it says that's where their friendship ended. So maybe that's why he hated her, but like 10 years later, I feel like something else ends up happening in the interim. And I'm just so glad that I feel compelled to keep reading and find out. Well, hello, stranger. It's been a minute for me because I had the flu. Yeah, I was deathly ill this week. Spent a lot of time on my bathroom floor. Watched like 3 seasons of The Office. But I'm slowly crawling my way back into life, and I've just managed to finish Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. However, I am not ready to talk about it. I don't have the energy to process what I just read. That makes it sound like something crazy happening here. No. The crazy's here. I need a minute, another minute, to really think about it and provide the analysis that it is due. But I'm wanting to keep reading, and I think I want to do one more book for this video. So we're just gonna read. We're just gonna keep going. And I'm gonna draw the next thingy, piece of paper. I hope this one's short. Okay. Here we go. Okay. A little bit of a brain break. We got The Martian by Andy Weir. I can see it. I'm not gonna get it. I don't have pants on. That should be fun. I loved Project Hail Mary. Yes, that's the one. And I think it's gonna be a little bit lighter, on the lighter side. Thank you. Okay, I will see you maybe at the 25-page mark. Maybe I'll just sit here and read it and finish it, and you know what, you'll see me when you see me. Okay. this is an impression of me reading The Martian. Nothing. I'm getting nothing. There is a lot of math using a lot of units I don't understand that don't mean anything to me. And I did love Project Hail Mary, and there was a lot of math and science in that too, but there's something different. Something captivated me about Project Hail Mary that is just not here in The Martian. And I know maybe it's unfair for me to be making this decision when I'm in the state that I am. But as I was reading it, I remembered, I was recalling, I had started this book before, a while ago. And I had put it down for the same reason then. And at that time, it was like, maybe I'll come back to it when I'm in the mood, but I think deep in my heart I know I just have no desire to ever read this book. And I know I said it was going to be my last one, but I think five feels right. So we're going to draw again and try a fifth time. And, you know, this is what this video, this experiment is all about. It's just part of the process. Okay. For real, one more time. Ew. Cat hair. Oh. 7 Empty Houses by Samantha Schwab? Samantha something. It's a short stories book collection. Blah, yeah. I'm gonna take a nap and start this when I'm feeling a little more enthusiastic about being awake. And that's a very short one. That is a very slim book. So we got this. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna talk about this book first before tomorrow and tomorrow, because I'll be brief. Just nah. Nah. Something I've learned about myself in the last year or so is that I really don't like surreal, weird fiction. Not even magical realism. I would be so much cooler if I did, but I just don't. And I don't have the patience for it. Nor do I have like the faith that there is a point to it. Like, so often it just feels like weirdness for the sake of weirdness. And even when there is a point, it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like with this one, I got through the first 2 stories and I get it. It's about the uncanniness of the home, the unheimlich of the Heim. Yeah, but the theme is not explored in a way that resonates with me, and it's fine. Like, other people will get this, other people will love this, but I'm too dumb for it, and I do not care. Well, now time for the big one. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Look, there was a lot I liked about this. You saw me after the first 25 pages. I love the way Zevin writes time. Like, she uses this broken chronology to slowly unfold her characters. And I think that her line by line writing is really solid. And I think that she has such a rich imagination. Like, the video games that she creates through her characters, I don't play video games, but I wanted to play them. But somehow, I did not love this. In fact, I realized by page 300, when we were hit by this third act tragedy that is very shoehorned in, by the way, that I don't care about these characters. This should have made me cry. this tragedy, and I didn't. And everything makes me cry. So the fact that I didn't really says something. Upon reflection, the way the characters are written is very clever but empty. And Zevin is clearly trying to get me to sympathize with the characters. There are a lot of obvious reasons to sympathize with the characters, and I didn't. I just didn't. Also, in the last 100 pages, there's this section where we're inside a video game for like 25 pages, and I had to push through. Like, it so took me out of the main narrative, and after that, I just couldn't recover. Technically, this was a good book, but it failed to make me feel anything. So was it a good book? What is a good book? This is why I don't rate books anymore. I hope this didn't bum you out. I knew there was a strong possibility that we'd be reading a lot of duds, but honestly, I feel pretty satisfied that this stack is getting the heck out of my life. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong about my opinions below. I'd love it. I'm gonna do another one of these soon, but in the meantime, I'm going to exercise my taste and go pick something with my own free will. That will be nice. Okay, see you next time.